It's a very beautiful autumn day. The mountain is covered very beautiful leaves. And this is Saturday noon. So that many climbers gathered at the top of volcano. So they are resting and taking lunch. But suddenly eruption started. And when they realized the coming crowd, so they got a shower of the stone from the crater. So totally 63 people were died by the hitting of a stone. But at that time, more than 300 climbers they resting on the summit. So yeah, most of them were escaped due to they entered into very, this is a sort of a house, small house. So they all survived. So this is example of earthquake event in Mount Aso. Aso located in the central Kyushu. So this geopark is very famous as the gigantic caldera. So this is the active volcano in the center, they shown here. So within the caldera, 50,000 people are living. And this very beautiful scenery of caldera and the scoria cone. But this geopark hit by the many series of earthquakes. So one of the biggest earthquake is magnitude 7.3. So by strong vibration, many landslides occurs on the surface of volcanic material. So by this the landslide, one car with one university student involved. And very big bridge existed before this event, but completely collapsed. And many people, many young students died by pressing the collapsed building. So right-hand side is example of the collapse of very famous shrine. Oh, not function, okay. So after the earthquake, we could see the very beautiful active fault appeared on the wheat field. So this is scientifically this is right lateral active fault. So after this earthquake, probably 6 months later, eruption started this volcano. So this picture was taken from the Geoparques Museum, Aso Volcano Museum. So still now the volcanic activity is very high. So in addition, volcanic seismic disaster, we had recently we had many the typhoon disaster. Typhoon is shown here. For example, this is the eye of typhoon, approaching to Japan. So 2 days ago, so to the hitting Japan island. So right-hand side is the ash cloud or rainfall cloud simulation. This is very correct, accurate. So by this heavy rain, the central and the northeast Japan very damaged due to the heavy rain and the flooding. So the simulation and the monitoring become technology of those become very advanced, but the people's mind didn't change. So the information of disaster is very correct, but the behavior of the people against the information is very low. So taking action by those people was delayed. So that is a big issue. The reason most people died, especially the aged people. So this is example inundation. This is the longest river in Japan. Shinano River was overflow right here. So inundated area. So here is the station of bullet train in Japan. So there many bullet trains submerged like this. So those trains will not be used anymore. Yeah. So when we look at the topography of this, sorry. No. Yeah, this is a little complicated map showing the lowest part is shown in pink. So here is the river bank is here. this is cross section. The cross section is here. The river bottom, the bank overflowed here, and this is a station. So they already known this area is dangerous against flooding, but they couldn't consider the maximum event. So if they consider the maximum event in the historical time, this area become very dangerous. But they did continue the construction due to the very rapid, very strong request from the government, because 6 years before the construction starts, the Olympic game was already scheduled in the Nagano winter game. So the lesson learned from this disaster is first, it is important to use live geology or geography, and especially geopark, it's become very important. And knowing the past is essential not only for geology, but also for reducing disaster risks. And in this mean, Geoparque is an excellent outdoor school to learn natural hazards together with the benefit from the nature and the feeling, by feeling, touching, and eating nature. So Japan is the third largest country in the number of UNESCO Global Geopark, except the very special Chinese case. So we are here, Italy and Spain. So this is a temporal change of number of global geopark. Already yesterday, Jose already shown. And here is Japanese geoparks number, and this is our network's number. They increase like this. So when we asked them, people, member of network, why do you continue the geopark? For what? Or your first aim. So this is a result of our questionnaire survey. So the majority is continued improvement in the stimulating local people. And the second is tourism. Tourism not fast in Japan. So, and the third is love of territory, the hometown love. Hometown love is very, very important. This is because young people can have the love the hometown. They can return to near future, and also he can advertise their own territory outside the geopark. So the motivation, major motivation of Japanese geopark is areas becoming healthy. So this is the background of Japan, why they thought like that. So for example, this is a population pyramid. This is age 0, this is age 100. And the left-hand side is male, right-hand side is the female. So this is very strange. So the number decreased towards the younger. So, and our big headache is the large population of aged people. So that low birth rate and the aging are serious issue in Japan. Due to this background, rural area have become more exhausted and more. So, but when we look at 40 years ago, this is 40 years ago the population pyramid of Japan. This is very close to the present Colombia. So in Colombia, already population decreasing started. So you should take some action to protect this tendency. So the reason of Japan is young people want to move to urban area, especially in Tokyo. And young lady and boys choose especially lady, chose a job rather than the parenting or nursing babies. This is the very big problem. So, okay. Oh, this is just my impression when we compare the activity of Japanese geopark with European geopark and China. So big difference between the three. So for example, bottom up is different. China is not bottom up. This is top down. The European is mostly bottom up. but Japan is a middle up or middle down because municipality take initiative of geopark activity. So others are also different. For example, education. Education is also different. So in Japan, the disaster education is very advanced. So this is another example of global geopark in Japan. So it's the peninsula. This is the youngest UNESCO global geopark. This is characterized by the volcanic deposit under the sea before contacting Japanese island. This is because this island moved from south due to, on the moving plate, oceanic plate. So it's a very beautiful scoria cone, the active volcano, and beautiful fenster created in the sea cliff. This lady is producing geo products. Probably you already done same thing. So the middle is columnar jointed biscuit, and the bottom is cross laminar biscuit. Right hand side is the scoria cookie, and the top is obsidian candy. So, okay, so she is a lady produced this, and she's selling those products in their own her geopark, and also selling in the major conference in Japan.